Good afternoon, everyone. I am Couch23, joined with Demrin too. We have a fantastic race for you this afternoon or evening. If you're on the East Coast, or we have both Pizza and Jeebus, who are pretty dang good. What's your take on this, Dem?
I mean, people in chat have already been calling this the race of the week. They've been real excited for this one in particular. Pizza last time around top 8 in the Bull Gauntlet, picked up a seed. I believe he had a barn burning race against you, Couch, that he just edged you out, which was a real impressive race. Beat Frankie Bones and lost to Peasants OMFG to end up here with a 1-0 record now with a win last week. On the flip, jeebus, of course. The Odin group, not exactly a fun group, ended up barely edging out Nit's guy to get to 2-1 out, and then, of course, had a real tough run against Nightdew, and Nightdew was also 2-1 in this Magma pool in a frightening group, but both these runners are real good. Jeebus is a big name in terms of, like, doing a lot of theory stuff on the Discord. Pizza's a little bit quieter, but this should be a heck of a run.
And looks like we got some pretty interesting objectives today too. We've got Giant of Babel, so Darkness Crystal. Tower Zot's pretty interesting, and defeat the bosses of Baron Inn. We have a Dark Knight Cecil to start. What do you think the opening play here is going to be?
Check for second Cecil. Most likely second Cecil's been a real big play on these because we have that vanilla agility going. Single Cecil can really wreck up your agility, just because then he is your anchor, and so you can't use a lot of the anchoring strategies that got real popular in the last couple of tournaments. But two Cecils, you can put one down in the deep ravine and leave him dead, like with an agility of 13, and then put a dwarf axe on him, dropping him to 8, and then that tends to make sure that your agility situation ends up being real good for the rest of the round.
Yeah, definitely agreed. There's just so many different opening plays you can do if you have a second Cecil.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I know both these runners tend to have some pretty good plans for these flags, and so this race should be exciting.
So, do you have any prior experience racing either one of these runners, Dem?
Not anything other than big group races mostly. I have not been competing super hard. I know I've commentated a bunch of Pizza's races. I've seen Jeebus in like every league on the Discord. So if I do decide to get back into that after this league is over, then then I'll have a lot of experience. We'll see, but this is again, Pizza makes runs in every tournament, but hasn't really broken through to that big finish. And Jeebus is probably due, honestly. But if you told me that this was going to be a match in the Magma group and not like top 16, I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. And looks like we're off to the races. First character is a Sid. That's a pretty good start here.
Yeah, can equip hammers, can equip axes, real solid, all things considered. Also has a big pile of hit points, which is nice. Our heroin robe is our starting item. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. That can be very useful if we run into a Rosa, even a Rydia. I guess Porum is alright too with a heroin robe, but I'd rather see Porum early, get some levels, and get that early Berserk.
I was just thinking about selling it for 30k.
I mean, you could do that too.
That's 30,000 gold less of treasure chests that you need to open. But yeah, with the stat boost on it is absolutely stellar. If you need to turn one of the ladies into a archer and in the early game, that can be really good.
Yeah, it's I like to call it the early game adamant armor. It's pretty dang good.
It does nerf your casting stats into the ground, which is a little unfortunate. But speaking of Porum, we've got Dark Imps, we've got Porum there in the Baron Inn. And here at the Watery Pass, we've got Old Man and, well, the sea, I guess.
We got some exit right now. That opens up quite a lot of fast checks now. That will make them significantly faster. Like if Pizza were to go really deep into this waterfall cave, they could decide to do that and just cast exit and get way out.
Yeah, which is something a lot of runners have been doing on these flags, because we are on T Wildish, and then that does mean that our Our gear scales with the location. Basically, the more out of the way the location is, the better the treasure chests are. And as shown, there's a Zeus Gauntlet, which is a pretty strong item. 10 strength and 10 vitality for a physical fighter. Also giant protection, which kind of comes in handy in a couple of niche cases. So, that's just a great early pickup for what will be both runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially having the Sid early, that'll give Sid just that much more damage. Because I believe you can get about 2 multipliers out of Sid with just 1 Zeus Gauntlet. And it looks like we got a lot of ninja swords in the Damsian basement.
Yeah, that's a good find. I mean, ninjas can still show up on these flags. We got a cat claw for Jeebus in case Yang shows up too.
And a crystal sword over on Jeebus' side. Jeebus paying off to doing that deep dive.
As rewards go, yeah, that is certainly a crystal sword.
And looks like we got a second Sid over on Pizza's side. This kind of opens up a lot of checks. We could go do that Baron Inn really quick and get us a White Mage and start taking out some other bosses and such.
Yep, crystal sword, 200 attack power, plus 15 strength, plus 15 wisdom, plus 15. I don't know. It's got like everything. Like,
yeah,
just.
It's a ridiculously overpowered sword. Looks like we got a pro ring over on the left side of the outline cave. So that's another pretty dang good pickup. There's a lot of good stuff early on.
Yeah, we have a few outlets. These treasure chests are just really giving up the goods early on. It becomes apparent that the cessation of looting will be quick, hopefully, for our runners.
Yeah, especially getting like so much good gear this early. Like you have money if you need it. You have a crystal sword for Cecil. You have Zeus gauntlets. There's really not much else you can really be going out of your way for.
I mean, the big thing is that Pizza does not have that crystal sword. Pizza did not go into the back for that 1% chance at a sword there, so like that crystal sword is legitimately like a sub 1% chance of being in any given chest in Watery Pass, which is always really impressive when it does pop.
Yeah. And looks like we got an Earth Hammer for Sid as well in the save room in Outline Cave. That's another +5 to strength and fire damage. So if we run into Mylon Z here, they'll be feeling some pain.
Yeah, I mean, there's just good stuff everywhere at this point in time. Like, there's a dancing dagger, which would be a little more exciting if we had a knife user, because you can use this item to do, roughly 400 magical damage, which is normally your early game, but Earth Hammer is a pretty strong early game as well.
Looks like we got a Yang here. Yang gonna be doing very, very little damage, but gonna have no problems getting through this fight here with the center Sid doing 750 damage right there. That is a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, it's almost a one-shot in this spot, honestly. I think it's, 825-ish?
It's 1,000 flat.
1,000 flat, well, 890 on the right side, and yeah, that's a lot of damage output.
And we got an Artemis bow. That will go perfect with those heroin robes.
I mean, just slap it on Sid. Sid can use it, because Sid can use it. We've got two of them.
That as well. That's a very good point as well. That is probably Sid's best weapon.
Yeah, I mean, Artemis bow, Artemis arrows, it fixes his terrible agility, and also, I mean, it has total, ends up being with Artemis bow and Artemis arrows like 125 attack power, which is pretty through the roof.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then you get the 4 times the multiplier against flying or dragons. It's just really, really, really good. There's Iridia. And another Tella. 2 Sids, 2 Tellas.
I don't think we want the second Tella, but Iridia's fine here. Like, I mean, you could certainly do worse than... You want to have a Black Mage for these flags in particular. I mean, Tella's gonna cover that, but... why do we really want to actually keep our first Black Mage on these flags in particular?
Getting a Black Mage this early on, we have the Warp glitch enabled to where if you cast Warp after you finish the Dwarf Castle boss, you can go back into the Crystal Room and get the Darkness Crystal because it will actually be there. Iridia is really good. Iridia learns Warp at 12, and Tella learns Warp after Ordeals. Palam's a little bit tougher to choose there early on just because he learns, I believe, Warp at 29?
Yeah, 29.
It's a lot more experience. I think it's like 100k plus just to get him there. But Rydia and Tella are really the two big ones that you want to see early on.
Yeah, it's 3 sirens when you hit the underground will get you to 29 usually.
We got a pizza heading over to Fagul here, and Jeebus is buying some Cure 3s in Mysidia. Those are always good to have, either just for healing, like your Sid's back up to full, or they're really good against damaging undead. I always like to have like a stack of 10 too, you know, if I run into D-Lunar somewhere.
Yeah, there is no assurance of a white mage per se, so you do want to kind of have that backup plan in place and know that it's there. Pizza's doing something really interesting. He's equipping a single arrow to his Sids and his Rydia, and then equipping a bow, and then unequipping everything. What's he doing?
So, in this game, seeing a third Sid that we know the location of over on Jeebus' side. So, what Dem was talking about is, in this game, when you have anything that you can attack from the back row with a deal a normal amount of damage, like a bow and arrow or a whip or a dwarf axe. Whenever you get those equipped, it actually permanently sets a back row status to your character. So in this situation, Sid with the hammer could be in the back row in the center slot, take like half damage from physicals, and then do the same amount of damage that they would do in the front row.
Right, this is our first divergence, really. Jeebus, of course, wants to get that crystal sword online. Pizza's gonna find. There's Asura here at the bridge of the full defense.
And speaking of D-Lunars, this is a fantastic place to use those Cure 3s. Because they'll do probably about 1500-ish damage. They can do as low as like 900, depending on the magic defense of the spot.
I mean, instead decides to slam that Fire Elemental Earth Hammer directly into the D-Lunars and burn off some of these Samurai arrows that you picked up earlier as well, to just absolutely tear through this fight.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely works as well. But if you weren't in the situation, say you had like a whole bunch of white mages to begin with, having those Cure 3s would make that fight significantly faster than if you did it normally.
Yeah, very good point there. I mean, there's a lot of tools to get the job done here, and I mean, speaking of needing to get the job done quickly, hi, Odin.
Odin here is really neat because the same thing happens to Odin that happens to Yang when Yang does a kick. So if Odin ends up doing the Zantetsuken, he'll just go backwards around the world and smack you from behind.
Well, on the other side, Pizza's doing something real interesting with Asura here, which is doing the Grey Face lock. Basically, normally Asura rotates through her faces, but if you execute actions when she flashes to cast a spell, you can keep her locked into the Life 1 face and she never heals herself.
Yeah, that's a fantastic strategy to use if you don't have a source of reflect or you don't want to waste Star Veils.
Absolutely, and yep, and Jeebus just barely edges down Odin there with the sword in the air, but gets through it. So he's going to get the biggest reward in Free Enterprise in just a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. This Crystal Sword Cecil will definitely be carrying the team for quite a while. Looks like we had a Magma key over on Pizza's side. That's pretty interesting because that opens up pretty much the whole underworld once you get the either ordeals or a source of warp. There's a lot of items we can get really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the first key item being the Magma key, of course, is just nice because now you know you don't need to do the hook route. I don't think our runners, both our runners are real good and aren't afraid of most hook routes. On the flip, Jeebus does get his first key item of the run, but it is just the Twin Harp.
Twin Harp's interesting to see. It's one of those where you don't really want to go too far out of the way for early on, and because it's a pretty tough spot. I mean, we have physical fighters here, so it'll be a lot easier than if we had a team of mages, and it's just a really long walk as well. The one unfortunate thing about seeing Water Hag in a really early place is, like in this situation, this slot only has 1000 HP, so it can really draw out the length of a fight, and it being a free fight is kind of unfortunate for if, say, Water Hag were on the moon, we could be getting a lot of experience for Water Hag instead of none at this spot.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the name of the game. You don't always get to choose where the bosses are, and since every boss spot is unique, well, we know that there's no more. We know that anytime we see a boss, that boss is gone forever.
Indeed.
12:30 in, Pizza's got the underground open and pilots his airship expertly into the gap in the earth and flies straight down to what looks like Tomra, and probably is going to start shop looping and grabbing the free item in the Fate March.
Yeah, definitely. These shops can hold quite a lot of good things, and we have a bank manager job dwarf today.
Second cat claw we've located in the seed as well, so each runner has one just in case a gang shows up and you want to use them.
We see sirens. We could sell that cat claw and buy some sirens.
We could. Probably advisable at this point that Ninja Star is 25k. The cat claw is worth 15k for sale because that's real good. So he's gonna grab a stack of 10. Gonna grab a handful of tents, and Pizza now has a grind secured at this point, and Jeebus will have that grind secured as well once it gets underground.
It's like we're getting an objective out of the way here. We're gonna pick up a white mage as well. I'm interested to see who the second boss is gonna be. Not gonna be too big of an issue with a crystal sword Cecil, but it should be quick and easy across the board.
Using Sid's Earthhammer as an item, which casts a low damage Quake spell, which is really handy, honestly, in terms of doing, cleaning up a very low hit point spot like the first boss here.
Ooh, Pizza having to redo Fabul for not saving after making it underground and opening a chest. The one chest that Pizza opened happened to be the monster chest in the Land of Summon Monsters, which is very unfortunate.
Oh no. On the other side, Jeebus found Mylanzi and applied the crystal sword directly to Mylanzi's forehead.
Oh, looked like it was a save afterwards. So I think, Pizza's headed up to Ordeals.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but knowledge is still maintained, at least, if nothing else. So he does know that knows where that encounter chest is. He knows where sirens are, so he at least has that. He's gonna have to watch the Magma key cutscene a second time, which is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, definitely. It's not. I was thinking that Pizza had to redo Fabul, and that would have been really unfortunate. Jeebus headed up to Hobbs. We're going to see the character up here is, and we're going to see maybe if Deepest is hanging out up here.
Yeah, maybe Jeebus isn't really happy with his party yet. He's doing a little bit extra work here, and this spot can take a little bit depending on which boss it is.
There's that second Cecil everybody talks about.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good it hurts. We're gonna take one of these Sids and be rid of him, and yeah.
Yeah, now we can have one Cecil specifically for anchoring, and the second one can just level away, and we'll have absolutely no issues.
Yeah, it's got to do a little bit of free gearing here because he got rid of the Sid that had the equipment. So.
Already making sure to take down that second Cecil, and just swinging away 1100 damage with I think like a level 5 Cecil it was originally. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, that Cecil is probably never getting back up at this point.
Got Pizza taking out these D-Lunars pretty quick. That Earth Hammer really proving to be useful.
Definitely one of the best early and mid-game weapons in the game, and it has definitely been pulling weight for both runners. Yep, for people asking in chat, Baron Inn was completed. It was a Sand Ruby for Jeebus, so he does have the Sand Ruby on hand. He also has Objective 4, as he did deposit. He did one shot on Mylan Z with it.
Yeah, that's that definitely would have been a very quick fight.
Yep, and now you've got Pizza trying to just rip through this Odin spot as fast as possible. Casting Lit Wall with Tello, which is actually pretty good because it does quad damage, so it's going to hurt at least a little bit.
Yeah, and all the damage that you can get here is you can always take it. So at this point, if you're Jeebus and you're about to get the Magma key here, what do you think your next play is? Do you go underground, check your freebies? You go Twin Harp?
You go underground, you verify if Sirens and Bacchus Wines are not in the seed easily. You go to Fey March, you check and see if there's a boss that Crystal Sword Cecil can dissect real quick, and then you sort of move on.
I really like the early Dwarf Castle play, just especially having a Tella this early, just getting that knocked out of the way and just continuing that loop, just stopping at Dwarf first, because that's 2 key items and 2 possible spots for demist.
Yeah, I do like that play as well, and again, like I talk about Crystal Sword Cecil an awful lot. Crystal Sword Cecil basically broke the meta in the last tournament. Like, Crystal Swords falling out of the sky and just people cleaving through seeds with it. Thankfully, I think in the hook route seed, in the table flags, it'll be a little bit less prevalent. But right now, they're everywhere and they are powerful.
Yeah, especially having a Zeus Gauntlet as well to go with it. It's just Cecil is ridiculously strong at this point and not going to be stopped by too much.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that Pizza does not have a Crystal Sword, and B only has 1 Cecil right now, so he's got some considerations for his party too to make at this point in time. So maybe that also may drive him to Dwarf Castle as well.
Looks like Jeebus is headed to Agart to drop that Magma key and make their way underground. Pretty interested to see what route they're going to take right away. Pizza finishing up ordeals, going to be headed down. Probably going to go reopen the underground as well.
And of course, while we are backtracking a little bit for both of our runners here, of course, I'd like to thank Leggy Starscream for being our tracker type, Moonblades Wolf for handling the restream, and of course the Free Enterprise channel for hosting great Free Enterprise action for goodness, I forgot how long now.
Yes, a big thanks to everybody, and thank you to my co-commentator Demrin for being awesome and helping me talk about this game.
Wait, you're helping me talk about this game?
I think we have a misunderstanding here. You are definitely a little better than I am.
I don't believe you, but we'll go with it. Jeebus does go to Dwarf Castle first, by the way. This might just be a let's check the item shop, but with Crystal Sword Cecil, he may just decide to try and drop some bosses here too.
Looks like we're going to get an item shop check for Dwarf Castle. We got Soma drop, but that could be good if we find a Darkness Crystal pretty early, but we do know where Sirens are, so it's always also nice to get a Soma drop on Tella to cast the once in a while swaggy Meteor.
Yep, sometimes you just want to drop rocks. There's tiaras for sale. You know, which is excellent if you have Rydia in particular. It is her best headpiece with that 15 black magic casting stat. But also the defense on it is absolutely through the roof. Yeah, and it looks like jeebus has decided, hey, I would really like to protect my white mage. That seems like a really good idea today.
We got Pizza throwing on the Artemis bow on Cecil, using the arrows 4 times damage against Mylon Z to pump out a little bit more damage than would be attacking with like a silver staff or something.
Yep, Paladin Cecil can also equip bows, and it's not the worst idea, honestly, but Mylon Z gets dropped here, and so Pizza through, gonna get a Sand Ruby, gonna get his white mage if he wants, and then he'll be headed probably back underground at this point as well.
Yeah, definitely. Not really any reason to go check the Sand Ruby right now. Can always leave that character for later. We've got other checks coming up, like here at the Dwarf Castle. We'll find out who our character is here in a little bit. Jeebus will have no problems with this fight.
First things first, kill Cecil. Second thing second. Kill Cecil very ineffectually, in fact, like half the necessary damage. Back row strikes again, I guess.
These drains doing very little from the zombies here, and Pete's gonna go ahead to check the bed probably here. Maybe they're not satisfied with their party. An edge would probably be pretty good for them right now.
That is an edge, in fact, and that will help counteract the lack of Cecil in this party because he's got a ninja sword. I don't know if he sold the longsword as well, but there were mute knives out there, so yeah, that's a good find.
Yeah, absolutely. This makes things quite a bit easier. Probably gonna debating on who to get rid of here. Getting rid of Cecil, not a bad choice. That way, Pizza now doesn't have to rely on keeping Cecil down to control the agility. They can just move around characters if need be.
Basically, once Tella's outlived his usefulness, they will probably slay the old man and leave him be for the rest of the seed. But yeah, that does give him the positive of agility stability. Jeebus has it too, but again, has to keep that level 1 Cecil for quite some time at level 1, unless you get a curse strike.
Pete's buying some cabins there. I really like picking up a few of them just because, you know, if you have to go to the moon for some reason, you don't want to be bringing people up with life potions and wasting time doing all that. It's a lot faster to just pop a cabin and go. Like we got a acro glitch as well going over on Pizza's side on that edge with a ninja, a mute dagger. I'm gonna take out gonna have to redo Fabul, so that mute dagger is gonna be very, very handy against Ashura here.
Yep, so putting Edge in the middle for speed purposes here. You just want Edge to take as many turns as possible on these slow spots. So Pizza is trailing a fair bit here now because he is redoing spots due to a failed save. While of course Ogopogo here in the second spot does rip up the better part of Jeebus's party, but can't really kill back row Sid before Cecil gets his one swing off to finish the fight.
Yeah, as you can see, Cecil already putting out almost 3,000 damage a swing is gonna make for some really quick fights. Especially at this next fight. This next slot only has 3,000 HP, so it could just be a one shot. You never know.
That was the second spot. It's all.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah, first spot was Mylon and Friends. First spot was Mylon and Friends, where he usurped up Cecil, killed the other Cecil, and Cecil hit things for 3k for like 3k a pop until they were all gone.
All right, that's right. Okay, there's just so much going on right now. We got a pink tail there. That's not bad. It's a possible item if we have to end up going to check the rat tail. It's not really worth going out of your way for unless you're, seriously lacking good equipment. I'm gonna check the second item here. Get an earth crystal. So that is another objective that can be knocked out of the way, and it would probably be a decent idea if you are going to do earth crystal to maybe route in that twin harp as well.
Yeah, maybe do Twin Harp first, then Earth Crystal. Check the treasury while you're there, because there's all that loot there. Maybe quickly first run down to Sylph Cave to set up Sheila 1. Like, you've got options at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And routing it in Twin Harp to Earth Crystal is definitely the fastest way to go about it.
Yeah, he's just gonna. Jeebus is just beelining it, because that Earth Crystal, of course, is required, so he has decided to beeline to Troya, without setting up his freebies. So the freebie at Fey March and the freebie at Sheila 1 are both still out there.
All right, wonderful. Wonder if we'll see a treasury first. More than likely, since Tella does have exit, it would be worth it to pop in there and, you know, see if we can get any money, or if we can get, say, like an Avenger for that Crystal Sword Cecil.
You just want all the nice things, don't you?
Why not? Why not go big? We're already pretty big as it is. Zeus Gauntlets, a Crystal Sword. We got a lot of stuff.
I mean, yeah, that is a stacked up Cecil. I mean, Ninja Sword, Mute Knife, Edge here on Pizza side is not exactly gonna slouch either. The big thing is also, Jeebus does not yet know that Sirens are in this seed, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's right, because they went right to Dwarf Castle, which, you know, I feel is a really good play, especially if you have a source of warp this early on, and being rewarded with it as well. Can still go down, take care of all the other stuff there, and if you happen to find, say, if you happen to find the pan while you're up at the Earth Crystal or at the Twin Harp, that could be really huge. Not have to make you triple dip for pool. And that treasury was stacked.
I mean, the most important thing there is probably the white shirt, because that makes a lot of Forum finishes very viable very quickly, keeps her hit point requirements down. That's exactly what I'd want to see there, honestly. The Stardust Rod's not great. We don't have a dedicated Black Mage on Jeebus' side, so, you know, not the most super exciting piece of gear, but you could always strap it to Tella for, you know, some damage output from him as well.
Yeah, and another pair of Zeus Gauntlets. So if Jeebus happens to find an edge up here, they will be pretty stacked offensively for basically the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you know, you're figuring on keeping a white mage in your party. That is what you wanted to see, certainly. Pizza does very quickly pick off an egg here, just to get a few more levels under his belt before heading back to Dwarf Castle to do the two bosses here.
Yeah, Pizza's gonna make pretty quick work of this as well. Having that Ninja Sword's edge with Zeus Gauntlets just gonna pretty much slice through the two bosses.
Yeah, it's just real interesting so far, seeing kind of the divergence between these two runners and how that's caused them to end up on two very different parties with two very different game plans. Well, similar game plans. It's Berserk your best physical fighter and let it go to town, but it ends up being that they are on very different plans for being on the same plan.
And Pizza getting trolled pretty bad by the NPCs in Dwarf Castle there. Luca ended up going up the stairwell, and then Pizza decided to go left and got blocked by that dwarf hanging off to the left, so losing a little bit of time there.
If he loses this race by 3 seconds, you can blame Luca for it.
One thing I like doing when I go into Dwarf Castle is, instead of just holding straight up, I swing a right one tile. That way I can run up and around and adjust to her as needed. Looks like we got Octo's the first boss. Gonna be really quick here. Cecil's gonna have no problems. Tella's probably gonna toss a lit 3, make a very quick work.
Now it looks like he went with lit arrows on Forum and he's gonna Zerk Cecil. The only negative about Octomom is that Holy Sword do half damage to Octomom. It's actually strong against Holy Elemental. So this will actually be a hair slow, but I mean, okay, a hair slow crit for 2500 is slow. Got it.
Yeah,
I'm leaving. I'm good.
It's still definitely a very large amount of damage from that Crystal Sword. Just won't be as much as normal. But Porum putting out some work with that Heroine robe on and lit arrows. That's just makes very quick work of whoever you're fighting. Pizza getting through Mylon pretty quick over there with that center slot edge. Just making really quick work. Looks like we got a Palom over the first character on Zot.
Yeah, if Jeebus wants to audible into a Black Mage or maybe get rid of Tella, not a bad option.
Yeah, definitely. Would you take Palom at this point with Jeebus' setup?
Check. I want to see the second character first.
Fair enough. I like keeping Tella because that's a nice casting of Berserk that you can use, and you can get 2 people Berserked with 2 white mages a lot faster.
Yeah, this is very true. I mean, on the flip side of the coin, you now have 2 real non-participants in the Zeromus fight here for this setup, so you are heavily reliant on solo Crystal Sword Cecil at this point in time, and maybe Defense Sword Kurtzring Cecil if you decide to level the other one.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you'd have to address later on. It's not bad to fight, bosses here and there, but I do agree with getting rid of Tella at some point to have a more reliable Z fight.
Yeah, free boss here, King and Queen Evelyn at the top of Zot, so Zot's pretty straightforward. Even though this bot has an absolutely mammoth amount of magic power, that Fire 2 still only hit for 47.
The unfortunate thing about doing Zot and kind of putting off the Twin Harp is the fact that you immediately get sent back to Baron after here, whereas after you finish the Twin Harp, you have to go back to Toroya anyways to get to your airship, so you may as well kind of route those in together. But I understand kind of not taking the time out to go do that Twin Harp.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long check, so Jeebus is probably packing, about a 5-minute lead here, though, by doing Earth Crystal first, so even this slight flight is not exactly a big deal.
And regardless, it is still an objective knocked out of the way. Getting Leviathan, no key item. It's pretty interesting. We have the Feymark chest still and a Sheila 1, so I'm assuming we'll see the underground play. Checking shops, gonna find those sirens more than likely, unless Jeebus decides to skip Tomra.
That could be possible, and that would be a little bit sad. I mean, he still has the ability to go grab an edge. He probably sold most of his ninja swords by now, but he still has the ability to go get edge as well from the Sand Ruby. He does not know that edge is in the bed. So if he also has that option to upgrade his party as well. Pizza is done and does have the Party Rock and Pigtail, and of course, much like Jeebus decides, those freebies can wait. I have an Earth Crystal, and that's really required, and also I probably want the Armory at this point.
Yeah, definitely. The Armory is usually a pretty solid check, even if you have some pretty decent gear already. And there's our go mode right there with the Darkness Crystal as a free item.
Check your freebies. Damn it, Scratch Dragon.
So we'll probably see Jeebus do a little bit of shopping here. More than likely head to Tomra, find those sirens, and just go ham.
Nah, he's gonna go do D-Machines now, probably. He did not sell anything. He's only on, 6 key items, so...
That's fair.
He does go to
D-Machines is always pretty good, but...
He does go to Tomra anyway, but yeah, D-Machines into clear into go mode, Blue Bear is actually a real good play here, I feel. You may not D-Machine all the way, potentially, as well. You can also use Sirens to sort of start help set up your D-Machine grind, but you don't really need that. So, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely at this point it's kind of like, well, do you go to D-Machines and just finish the giant right away, or do you pre-grind so you don't have to set up the D-Machine and just go? That's kind of a decision you got to make.
I mean, 20 Sirens pretty much says, I'm going to go crack some eggs for a hot minute.
Yeah, and then you also got to take into account the experience at Elements and CPU as well. I think it's like 250,000 between those two. Roughly.
Yep. It ends up being about 250k without 10 key items here, and so we're going to be on 6 to end the seed for Jeebus, and here we go. This portion of the stream brought to you by the Egg Council. Eggs.
And having that Cecil in the top slot is fantastic for grinding just because if you get a strike first and that center slot is down, that top Cecil is going to go first. Just that top Cecil in general is faster than everybody else in your party anyway, so you're just going to have to hold down A, and it's clear pretty much every time.
Yeah, some very smooth sailing here for sure. So Pete's again sort of lagging behind by the length of getting down to the Earth Crystal bosses and then getting down to the Fey March and grabbing the free chest. And yeah, we'll see. So Jeebus has scrambled 2 eggs now.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Pizza had not opened that chest, Pizza may be very ahead at this point. But
I mean,
unfortunately...
Yeah. If Pizza didn't touch that treasure chest, he'd probably be in go mode right now.
Rydia getting that Artie Bone Samurai arrow is going to make some pretty quick work here against Octo, and Edge still just going to put out a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be, again, Pete's going to make some pretty quick work of this as well. And then he's probably like to get to the grinding. He's going to kill his Tella. Pizza wants to keep Tella down for anchoring purposes. He does not really need Tella at this point in time. He's got a full viable party of characters that are going to do a bunch of damage in the last few fights, but again, he's probably going to need to pre-game a bunch of eggs as well.
In Jeebus' situation, I see we're still relying basically on a solo Cecil to do all the damage. Would you go check that Sand Ruby character and ditch Tella since you are doing your pre-grind with Sirens, since you really don't need Tella?
I mean, it's unlikely that he's going to do it because of speed purposes. Like, he's very committed to the bid at this point in time and does not want to waste time against a top tier runner that he's against. So it ends up making a lot of sense to not check that. If he didn't get rid of Tella in the tower, he was not getting rid of Tella.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, and Tella is still extremely versatile. Like, especially if you get a non-boss at one of those boss spots, you could weak them or stop them or do any multitude of things with Tella.
Yeah, so it'll be real interesting to kind of see how this plays out. Pizza likely to get rid of Rydia for him here, or for Palom here. I think that makes a lot of sense, but he might stick with Rydia because Rydia's already at some levels. Sid's gonna probably go to the bench here, and he'll kind of work from there. So Jeebus just pre-gamed like half a dozen eggs, and then he's ready to go.
Yeah, shouldn't have too many issues with the element spot unless we get a pretty gnarly boss like DK Cecil or Knazo.
Yeah, still going to use Porm as an archer here, but does upgrade Rydia to Palom here. It'll be a little bit quicker to get nuked that way, so looking for a little bit of pace. Jeebus is raising the whale, so he is on his way to the giant here to see what's there, probably.
And at this rate, I assume Pizza is more than likely going to go check that freebie and find their go mode as well.
Get Pizza committed to keeping Palom down so that he can get the double experience as much as possible from whatever grind he chooses to do. So, what bosses are we hoping for on the giant? How rude do you want to go?
I really want to see the gauntleted CPU.
Maybe we get a little Knazo at elements to start us off.
Ooh, that'd be pretty spicy. I wanna see something fun.
I mean, Ogopogo's out. Ogopogo is like my favorite boss to see at the element spot just because it just wrecks you.
Got a Jeebus entering the Giant of Babel. Gonna be a nice quick walk. Don't even have to worry about opening any chests. Already pretty stacked gear for endgame. Just gonna push through these bosses as fast as possible.
Yeah, so we'll kind of see how this ends up playing out for him. And Pete's is landing at the Land of Summon Monsters, the place that probably is gonna be the bane of his run, as it probably has put him well behind touching a treasure chest down here and finding the one encounter chest.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate because I mean I do the same thing when I run through Cave Eblon. There's a couple chests that you run directly by, and I can't help but open them. Like, it's just one of those things.
I literally take my right hand off the control. Oh, there it is! Hi, friends!
Hey, I was off by one spot.
Pizza gets the Darkness Crystal, immediately casts Exit. He's done with this place. Pizza just realizes he's in go mode now. He's got to figure out how he's going to get his levels. On the other side here, well, we're going to see Crystal Sword Cecil do some work on these fights, but these hit hard.
Yeah, having that back row Crystal Sword Cecil shouldn't be too much of an issue here. Cecil's gonna take relatively low damage. The physical here isn't too bad, unlike it would be at CPU.
Yeah, also still having Sid means you also still have the Earth Hammer, which does quad damage to a lot of the enemies in this gauntlet as well.
Yeah, and another great thing is jeebus can get the rest of the levels here by basically just getting all of the experience that this place offers. jeebus is going to get, well, both runners are going to get a ton of experience.
Yeah, instead of getting about 125k from this particular spot, you're gonna get a little bit more than that.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking at probably about 220-ish thousand, unless you kill the searchers outright.
Which is a sensible play, honestly. I mean, the other thing you might just consider was life glitching some of the robots in the earlier fights, but
and Zerking Porum, always a fantastic choice, especially with that Artie bow and Heron robe still on.
Yeah, but this time the fighters go after jeebus's front row and just deposit Tella and take off 2/3 of Sid's hit points in one shot. But yeah,
Pizza now in his giant.
Yeah, also lit arrows are doing a lot of work here because they also will do quad damage to all of these mechanicals. Only 2 fights to go. We're already at 100,000 experience from the gauntlet.
Fortunately, getting a D machine here. If you had an hourglass, that would be fantastic. I'm going to take some gnarly counters from berserking that Cecil.
Yeah, but is gonna try and throw a Bacchus one on Cecil here, and then a Cure 3 potion, and have Cecil just take this down before the fire counters get the kill. But this does leave the party in a pretty vulnerable spot for the last fight. I don't remember what the last fight is, though.
Porum getting that Cure 3 off, keeping herself alive, so that will definitely help carry through the next. But unfortunately, D-Machines have a ton of health, so Cecil having to take 4 swings. But 41,000 experience right there, that's nothing to shake a stick at.
And last fight's double Mac Giants here, so... He's gonna get some chemistry going here to try and keep his party going.
It's like Pizza just Soma dropped up the Tella. Might be seeing a D-Machine reset grind here.
He's just gonna try and fish for the fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Gonna have that giant boost on that Palom. Yeah, the unfortunate thing about not setting it up in Baron is that if you're just looking to get on the first try, you could go through a whole bunch of resets, and it could be pretty difficult to find right away. But this could be it. Apparently not.
He ends up resetting. He's probably using the table for the old D-Machine grind, so he knows that's going to be Horseman. Just on the step count that he's taking. He's just he's routing it very similarly every time. But yeah, Jeebus is through the gauntlet here. Crystal Sword Cecil and Artemis Bow Porum do the work.
And you can really see why a lot of people have learned the setting up outside of Baron here, because we've already seen quite a few resets. But looks like Jeebus is going to head over to the CPU spot now. What would you like to see here now that we have the gauntlet out of the way?
Something easy so we can get this seed over with. I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot of real tough options. Mega Sisters is usually the worst of it. D-Mist is just going to waste our time mostly, so I guess we're going to enjoy a fight that's going to take a while, but is not dangerous in any way.
Like Pizza has a grind close, so just gonna weaken, get through this fight. So more than likely it'll be an encounter on the next step, or not the next step, but the next encounter will more than likely be the D-Machine here.
Yeah, and Jeebus decides to crack the Moon Veil here. No better place to use it. It's the last place you can use it to just fully protect the Cecil from damage.
Gonna kill that Tella instead of getting cold misted a whole bunch. Going Bacchus way. The good thing about this is Cecil's gonna do a fair amount of damage, and the spot doesn't have nearly as much HP as the last spot, so we should be able to get through this pretty quick as long as Cecil does about that much. A good 4 more times.
Yeah, and it's going to use the Silver Staff to wipe the Berserk status here. Except there's a wall on Cecil from the Moon Veil. You can't do that. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. So everybody enjoy the sound of cold mist from Jeebus' screen in just a moment.
Indeed. Yeah, the great thing about item usage is sometimes it can be reflected. The Dancing Dagger does pierce the wall. The rod, funnily enough, if you use it as an item on somebody that's walled, gets reflected back at you.
And the big thing is that Cecil does not have a great deal of magic defense, so these cold mist counters are probably going to kill him.
And maybe out of Cure 3s, can't throw a Cure 4.
Might just have to let him die and then res him up, but oh, this is a fair bit of time loss. And he pre-queues the life tube, but Cecil doesn't die.
Oh no. Well, the good news is, actually that may not be very good. Porum just took a pretty good smack right there.
She's gonna be able to blink herself, but the big thing here is that Paladin Cecil during these phases, while the D-Mist is up, is doing stellar damage, so should just rush this fight down anyway. So probably not a big deal, but still a little bit nerve-wracking for sure.
And gets through only with 1 round of cold mists, so not too bad there. Pizza making's pretty quick work with these D-Machines over here. Making sure that hammers off his Sid just so we don't get that 4 times damage against the Searcher and accidentally kill it early. That would be the worst thing to happen.
Yep, so Jeebus' side, Porum's got Cure 4. If he needs more levels, this is now the time to get them, but he is working his way through this D-Machine fight at this point in time, Pizzas, so see how this goes.
Alright, so it's either just go right to the moon from here, or go maybe check the D-Mist for that pass. That could be an interesting play, but at this point you gotta be like, okay, well, where's my opponent? Do I just go? looks like we're more than likely just going to be going.
Yeah, just heading right up to the moon, not wasting any time. Yeah, jeebus crystal in hand, under 52 minutes. So yeah, shuttling off to the moon here. We'll see if he's going to do any more grinding, if he feels comfortable with this party with just Cure 4 on a probably, what, 1600-ish HP for him?
But yeah, that Porum's also pretty stacked. A tiara, a white robe, more than likely a pro ring.
Yeah, silver staff for the staff spot. Pizza wraps up doing game machines here, gets 439,000 experience, double on Palom, so Palom's gonna get, 880,000 experience points, which should, if it doesn't get him nuke, he'll get it very shortly into the gauntlet.
Yeah, we'll be one shy of nuke. So we'll definitely get it after the next fight.
Yep, also gets his Forum pretty well online as well, which is good, so Forum will start getting extra HP here as well, so... I'm gonna turn off encounters. Gonna go save. Gonna go take all the necessary precautions before heading over to Gauntlet Town. Party floating around level 47. They'll be level 50 by the time they get out of here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely good that they turned off encounters. I have done that before after grind and then instantly regretted it.
Yeah, especially with can't run on. Yeah, you could just die.
Yeah. So while Jeebus makes their way down and Pizza is in the gauntlet, I just want to say thank you to Demrin for co-commentating. Thank you for Leggy for pushing the buttons behind the scenes, Moonblaze Wolf for restreaming, and Free Enterprise for hosting this. It's always great watching these races and being able to commentate.
Yeah, and this race is coming to a quick head here. We'll see how Jeebus is doing in terms of White Mage hit points here, if he's going to go for like nerf strats or if he's going to try and grind a little bit more. Again, against a tough opponent, you may want to play loose. Level 48 Forum has not exactly a lot of health to speak of. You're kind of relying, you got Sid and 1,475 hit point Forum, but you've got Sid for damage and you've got Cecil for damage. And you have good agility. You have a properly anchored team for the most part, so...
Sticking with the heroine robes, I did not happen to see the white robes sticking around in there.
I think he wants the agility for RA1 potentially here, just to sort of make sure, because otherwise Porm will be too slow and will not be RA1. She'll be RA2 or 3 depending.
See, that right there just proves you're better than me, because I have no idea about any of that stuff.
Yeah, will Porum be angry? We shall see. Pizza cutting down the gauntlet with Quakes and probably nukes in just a hot minute here. Not having too much of a time of it here. Again, it's very stable agility with that tele anchor, so just sort of working his way through this efficiently.
So I'm seeing a whole bunch of Z's in chat. Is everybody tired? What's up?
I think it's nap time. Everybody, it's nap time.
It's nap time. I'm down for nap time.
Okay, it's actually not nap time, but we're here, final boss in the final spot. He doesn't move. Zeromus is always waiting for us at the lunar core. And one of the things that does get randomized in the randomizer is the Zeromus sprite. There's over 450 sprites out there in the pool at this point in time. Only Scala knows them all. And Board, I guess. Board probably knows them all. But yeah, most importantly, it is time to figure out. Gods, come on. Is Chad helping with the line? I think Chad's helping with the line, right? It's something about killing Zeromus. I don't know what the line is. I forgot. Sorry. I'm so bad at this. No, more importantly, we're about to find out whose butt we are running.
Alright, what is your favorite Z sprite that you have personally seen?
I mean, the Z sprite that was added in because of my own experiences with randomizers would be the lobsters from Final Fantasy 1.
Heck yeah. Ha ha ha. Oh my goodness, that's a good one.
It's a classic. One of the greatest scenes in RPG history.
As you can see, Cecil's already doing a 5k swing, basically. It's going to be really short work here on Threemus. Sid doing 2k himself.
Yeah, throwing up a wall on Forum to attempt to protect her from the first counter nuke here, just in case if it comes out on her. Throws the slow spells. Middle Cecil is absolutely dead. We'll see you later, friend. And so we've got the two Zergers on the bottom. You've got a White Mage set up here. You've got a wall on the White Mage for safety purposes, and so we're going to see if this holds out with the level 48 form. Pizza's on the D Machine, so on the fourth fight in the gauntlet here right now. So making his way.
Cutting it really close there, getting a stop off, fortunately, with Palom. That was getting pretty scary. The good thing about D Machines is you can stop them. They're I don't even know. I can't think of the word right now. They're basically weak to stop.
They're not bosses, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so can't really heal the Forum here because she's got a wall up. You need to throw a Cure 3 potion at her, which she's got a couple left for Jeebus, so... Or maybe he's out of them. He's gonna throw some Cure 2s. Yeah, there's the double Mac Giants. There's fight number 5 for Pizza here. So making his way through the gauntlet here, probably about 7 minutes behind at this point.
But we'll have a Palom with nuke at the end of this, which could help speed up that Z fight a little bit.
Yeah, he's gonna need some help from Jeebus at this point in time, doing about 7,500 damage Berserk per cycle. Thinking about that Big Bang. He's just gonna let it go off.
Yeah, definitely. I feel Porm will survive unless you get a really unfortunate roll. Servo and Robe still do a pretty good job of avoiding some rolls.
Yeah, but they give you minus 15 to your magic casting stats, which of course reduces your number of rolls. But yeah, on the flip side of the coin, though, did push through enough damage to actually get to the phase skip, and then just let go, which was really smart. So didn't panic, just let the damage come out. So we are in the last 60,000-ish hit points. We're probably around 45 to go. Out goes the slow. Gonna try and set up the slow for the nerf of this Big Bang coming out. Nuke on Cecil. Cecil's gonna be just fine. Oh wow! Oof.
That was a really high nuke.
that was a spicy nuke right there. That Cecil's got a little bit of gear on.
Right into a Big Bang too, unfortunately. So gonna lose a little bit of time and a little bit of damage, but should be pretty quick to get Cecil back up here in reserve.
Yeah, I mean, gonna get the Cure 4 off here, patch up the party. The wall fell down from Telex. It doesn't last forever, which is always kind of nice to know. Pizza Dash is right up to that second boss, so we're gonna see he's gonna see what's behind the gauntlet here. So he's gonna see, and probably be fairly unhappy about seeing demissed. So Black Hole out, ends up going with a direct targeted Cure 4, which, no matter what your stats, always heals 100% of the target's health. Gonna drink the wine and get this party back going again.
Yeah, and already in rocks. Gonna be really quick work here this media phase.
I guess Crystal Sword Cecil is pretty okay, I guess. Back-to-back 4404 is not quite enough. We're gonna get one more flash of rocks here, and then I think we're done. I think we're good.
Casual, almost 6k to finish it off.
Crystal Sword Cecil 1, everybody else 0. GG to Jeebus, who's just gonna miss finishing the seed in an hour.
Yeah, this was a pretty quick seed, and we are joined by Jeebus. GG's.
Thank you. Emery, I found the crystal sword.
I will ban you all. wait. Yeah, you were the only one to find the crystal sword. Pizza did not go deep with the Tella, and so did not go in a watery pass. You know, did not end up keeping Cecil. Did not find second Cecil on top of the mountain. and is relying on an edge that he found in the bed in Kaipo.
Oh man, that's yeah, that's a huge swing right from the beginning of the seed. I kind of wish he found it. That would have been a really interesting,
Well,
much more closer race maybe.
here's the interesting thing. The only thing that Pizza lost time on is he did not save going into LOSM and opened the warrior chest by accident.
Really? That is
Yeah.
really interesting.
So he was still keeping pace.
That's awesome. I definitely gotta watch the restream. Pizza is a fantastic runner. Ever since I started playing, way back before the Fabul Gauntlet, I was doing all these asyncs, and Pizza did a lot of them too, and my time was always lagging behind him, and he was one of the racers that I was just like, I want to beat Pizza. I want to beat Pizza. And yeah, I'm glad to have finally made it happen. I mean, I've made it happen on asyncs, but on a one-on-one like this, it's really great.
I mean, if there was a time to do it, now would be the time. So congratulations on a really well-earned win. How did you feel about finding second Cecil on top of Hobbs anyhow at that point?
I was thinking, jackpot! Like, all I really needed from that point was either a Cursed Ring or a Drain Sword or a Dwarf Axe, and I looked fairly intensively without trying to go too much out of my way, but none of those three ever seemed to turn up. So my agility anchoring was kind of rough at the end. That's the reason why I kept Porum in the Heron Robe to make everything go smoothly. It's the reason why I eventually put the Artie Bow on Sid and also berserked him, even though it's theoretically a lot safer to just let him eat big bangs and revive Porum for heals.
Yeah, but still, just an overall, just an expertly played seed. Honestly, I didn't really see nothing of note went wrong for you, which is always kind of a nice thing to see, certainly.
Yeah, it was definitely fantastic play. Besides the crystal sword, what do you think was the most advantageous item that you found in a chest?
In a chest? Well, I found the Artemis Bow from a key item location, the Heron Robe that's given to us. Probably those lit arrows, honestly. They helped Porum and Cecil get through that gauntlet fight pretty smoothly. Oh, and that Earth Hammer in the Antline Cave is really clutch.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to see that Earth Hammer pop up so early.
Absolutely. And I gotta say the most memorable part of the seed for me was using that Moon Veil on the Demist fight and then trying to do Silver Staff strats. And I did not know that Silver Staff can be reflected, so that was something new I learned.
Yeah, that's always pretty neat to find out when an item gets reflected and you're never positive about it.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to go through all those cold mists, but he actually managed to survive through them. I was totally expecting him to die, and then I'd have to restart the cycle, but it turned out pretty okay.
So you're 2-0 now. Is there anybody that you're looking forward to or don't want to face in the next round?
I mean, there's a laundry list of people I don't want to face in the next round. I know for a fact that at least Penguinator is doing his 1-0 match this week. Or did he already do it? Yeah, he did do it, and he won. So I'm really not looking forward to potentially facing him. And there's just, yeah, there's so many runners in this community that if you wanted a list, I would have to get back to you because I'd have to write it all out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. There's a lot of good players now.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably want to see you play Penguinator next week, just because, again, two players sort of at the height of their power right now. Going at it would be real exciting. I know it would probably be real bad for both of you. You'd probably both feel real bad, but it'd be real exciting.
Oh yeah, it would probably be super exciting for the viewers, and me and Penguinator would just be shaking with nerves before the match.
mean, you know, any given week, anybody can lose. I mean, you look at a lot of the names in this Magma pool, and so you know, 2-1 is just it's hard to get to 2-1, let alone 3-0. So, you know, again, you could probably beat anybody in this tournament, but you know, one bad break, one crystal sword of difference, that could be the whole ride. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I sign off, I just want to give a big shout out to our restream team. We have Couch and Demarine on commentary. Moonblaze Wolf rolled our wonderful seed, he's our restreamer, and Leggy Starscream on tracking.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing your next race. I'm sure it will be must-see for Enterprise. Again, you've been playing incredibly so far. So, you know, keep it up. It's good to see.
Thank you for the kind words. Have a good night, everybody.
You too, and GG's again. Alright, now we got Pizza making the descent into their equipping. It has Stardust Rod for Palom. Just pretty much stacked up all the gear. Mid 50s, gonna have no problems with this Threemus fight. Gonna be really quick.
Yeah, drop Porum for the character at the top of the lunar subterranean, so just to make sure that agility was good, so that there were no concerns. So yeah, has a base level Tela in the middle now. So I guess he shuffled Tela for Tela just for anchoring purposes. So double Zerker, double caster should be some hybrid strats, and this should be pretty academic, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really quick fight. I actually did see if Pizza picked up Bacchus Wines. Did you happen to catch that?
I don't think he did, but he might have grabbed. No, he cast Exit immediately when he got the Darkness Crystal. Didn't check the shop, so
Okay.
he did not get down to the shop. He grabbed the Darkness Crystal, took 3 steps, and went, "Oh, I'm in go mode." And just was like, "All right, let's go play this video game." He's got Porum and Tela for double Zerk casting though, so that should be fine. So it'll probably be Zerk into Starveil from Palom into Sid Swing into Zerk again.
And Palom just rocking a whole bunch of HP, gonna have no issues. Didn't have a lot of defensive gear for Palom though. I believe still wearing leather and possibly a wizard robe. I didn't see if they actually put the wizard robe on Palom. They went to go check on Porum, and then I glanced away.
Yeah, I know he's got the Stardust Rod on Palom, so again, the nukes that are coming out should do pretty near cap damage at this point.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking for some Bacchus Wines. Apparently didn't even have one, so gonna parry, gonna head back to Porum and get that slow cast off, and then more than likely gonna Berserk Patel here.
Yeah, he's actually going to hold Tela's turn for protective purposes, I think. Just in case if somebody gets destroyed. Or it'll reflect off of the wall, and you can just go, alright, fine, whatever, I'm casting Berserk, we're good.
What a target. Love it when that happens. Edge putting out some pretty decent damage to himself. 3k there on that roll. Still gonna not as much as Crystal Cecil, but gonna put out some really good work here.
Yeah, like Double Ninja Sword Edge has carried a lot of runners in this tournament so far, where he's been a powerhouse.
That nuke doing 8k there, and this white after the Big Bang is gonna be pretty hefty as well, wearing those white robes. It's time for Tela to do what he does best.
Die horrendously.
Yeah, pretty much. White doing 9k there. This fight's gonna be over. Don't blink.
Yeah, the amount of damage he's pushing per cycle, like nukes are instant cast basically. So there's some quad 9s. So the fighters are probably putting about 5k a pop, but then the nukes are just pushing us to 14k, 14 to 50k a pass, which is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and just I believe that was a phase change to phase 2, so we're probably not even going to see a second Big Bang at all.
Yeah, we're gonna get another volley of damage spells from our casters and another volley of attacks from our fighters, and that should be again pretty academic.
I did notice that Pizza did set battle speed down to 3 to make the fight a little bit smoother. I like lowering battle speed for at least Threemus.
Yeah, if you're not on RA1 Berserkers, it just gives you a little bit of extra reaction time if you have to go for nerfs, or it lets you set up the beginning of the fight a lot better, so it can help you a lot if you are trying to make sure that you have clean Threemus fights as the fights get more and more marginal, the tournament is going to be a really good thing to do.
Yeah, definitely much agreed. Just having even just that hair of a more reaction time is advantageous.
There's Shake for Big Bang too. Nuke coming out right now. It looks like we're going to go with a Cure 4 on, I think this is a group cast Cure 4 probably, just for safety's sake. You just want to make sure that you don't die to Big Bang into Medio, potentially, which would be run killing. But we're not going to do Big Bang, we're just going to get rocks, and so if this Cure 4 goes off, then this will be all over.
Yeah, this was a fantastic race ran by both runners. No super major play mistakes, just well executed across the board, and a lot of knowledge. Like, both of these runners are very, very good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why, Pizza makes deep runs in tournaments. It's just, yeah, this is kind of a tough place to take a loss, certainly. I mean, he needs to win next week to make it to the 2-1 play-in, which is gonna be tough. 2-1 play-in is gonna be unpleasant, to say the least.
I don't know. I'm pretty excited for all of the plans. There's gonna be a lot of good racing.
I mean, as a viewer, very excited if I were running in the 2-1 play-in. Different story altogether.
That's a good point.
Obviously, once they get to that, it'll be must-see, but, like, every race has been just so good this tournament, and Pizza's gonna wrap this party up with a reflected nuke, 113-39. I believe that he has declined an interview at this time, so we will not be hearing from our friend this fine evening. We are gonna, I guess we're gonna move to the close. I think we're done here.
Yeah, that was exceptionally fast.
Yeah, a jet seed that was played to near perfection by Jeebus, certainly. I mean, I'm sure, if he picks it apart, he'll probably find some things he could have done better, but, hard to say. A time that I would be over the moon to have put down on the seed, for sure.
Yeah, much agreed.
Well, I guess we're done. Couch, what's on your mind?
I am checking to see if there's any more races this evening. I believe there is. Looks like we have a few more races, but none of which are being restreamed. Or, wait.
Hang on, we're getting scheduled. Don't worry, we got this, everybody. We're professionals, we're doing it right, we're doing it live. Yeah, there's a bunch of races going on now. Like, an absolute pile of races. Right now, Beer Nerd Cassidy, Born Sword and Fantasia, Golden Hades, and Starman Random are all going off restream. And Dodo is playing Neon Grey at 9 p.m., also off restream. But tonight, for restreamed action, still 3 more races. We're going to head over to Randomania in a hot minute. We're going to go see Euphoric Lemon and Sathresh dueling it out on the Hook route. Zyrak and Rumblefish will be on RPG Limit Break tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time. That is a 1-0 mag match. Zyrak been playing out of the world at this point in time. Rumblefish is sort of up and coming. Hasn't really ever made a big dent, so we'll see if he can get a big upset tonight. And then we've got the midnight special, Free Enterprise, late night, Frankie Bones, Plumeria Night, 0-1 on the Hook round. But yeah, that's that for that, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I literally forgot what day it was. I thought it was the second.
I trust me, time is an illusion and a flat circle and all those wonderful things. Couch, it's always a blast to get to hang out with you. So thank you so much for doing commentary tonight. Leggy, our tracker, thank you, and of course Moonblaze Wolf running the restream. Couldn't do it all without all of you. So thank you all, and of course to all the fans, we wouldn't do it without you either. So thank you all, and enjoy your next race tonight. Have a good night.
Take care.